Welcome to Foundations of Math 11. I'm just going to quickly go through a couple topics that tend to give students the most difficulty in terms of the technology. So when you log into EPA's dashboard, you should see a screen similar to the one that I'm looking at here. And note this calendar icon. Now if you click on that, you can change the planned completion date, and that way your assignment timeline will also be modified to reflect your new completion date. Next, when you log in to your dashboard and click on the Foundations of Math 11, you'll come to the home page. And to send me a message, you can just click here on Messages. You can search my name, and you can send me a message. Now, these messages come straight to my email inbox, and so if you'd prefer, you can always just send me an email too. If you send me a question about a particular assignment or practice question, then I will most likely return your response by email because that way I can attach files. Something else that I'd like to draw your attention to is this course outline on the home page. So if we click on that and open it up, it actually goes through a lot of the information I'm going to go through right now, just in case you forget. It talks about each unit and the tests associated with it. So it'll actually say how many questions there are, your time limit, and any extra information you need to know about your test. So the course outline is a great reference. Other links that I'd like you to note on the course homepage are the supervisor form, which you'll need to complete and submit with each chapter test, the formula sheet, which you are permitted and encouraged to use for each chapter test and the final exam, and the About Me assignment. The About Me assignment is something I'd like you to complete as soon as you enter the course. So what that is basically just a series of questions that gives me an idea of why you chose to take this class and the goals that you have. That way we can work together to make sure that the purpose for taking this course is met. And then just submit it right here into this About Me assignment hand-in box. You'll notice that everything with the icon with the hand is a submission box. And so they're going to be corresponding with each of the assignments in this course. Another question that I frequently get from students is about the activation assignment or the startup assignment. In this course, the startup assignment is the first two assignments. So quadratic functions assignment 1 and 2 make up the startup assignment. So taking a look at this course startup assignment, ideally what I would like you to do is to print it off, to answer the questions by hand, and then somehow get it back onto your computer and submit it through Moodle. I would like you to do it this way so that you get used to the way that your assignments will be submitted during the course. So there's a couple methods that people generally use to do this. The first is if you have a scanner, you can print out the assignment, do it by hand, and then scan it back to your computer as a PDF and submit it into the course that way. Or if you've printed it off, done it by hand, and you don't have a scanner, then another option is to take pictures of each page. And you can either then copy and paste each of those pictures that you've taken of your assignment into a Word document and submit your assignment as one Word document. Or you could actually just put all of the pictures of the pages into a folder, say on your desktop. And then what you can do, so I'm going to use this example as called new folder. And if I wanted to create one file out of several files that I have in here, I can right click and then go to send to compressed folder. So now I've got this compressed folder right here. And what that does is it really decreases the amount of space that you're taking up with your file. And so a smaller file is going to be able to be submitted much easier. So to do that, then you'll go back into your course. You'll click on the About Me assignment hand-in box. To submit your About Me assignment, just click on Add Submission. Then you click on this plus, upload a file, choose a file, and I'm going to choose my zipped file. Then I upload it. And this is going to be the same process that you will use for submitting your course assignments as well. So the files that I can open are Word files, PDF files, or zip files. If you're working on a Mac, make sure that even if you zip the file at the end, you do not save it as .pages originally, otherwise I won't be able to open any of it. So this is taking a while. There, now that it's finally done, so you may need to be patient as the upload happens, but now I can press Save Changes. And it's submitted, and I know that because in my submission status it says submitted for grading. Okay, now moving on to the rest of the course. Under Chapter 1, Quadratic Functions Part 1, you'll see that there are 2 lesson videos. When you click on the lesson, the page will open with instructions, so to print out the template notes. If you click on this link right here, where the notes are underlined, then a copy of the template notes will come up for you to print off. And beneath it, when you're ready to watch the video and complete the notes as we go, then you can press play. And you can pause, fast forward, rewind as you need. Now underneath, where it says here, which is underlined and linked as well, that's where you're going to find the answers to something called the checkpoint. And at the end of every lesson that I create, I'm going through right now and updating the course with new lessons, then there is a checkpoint. And if you can do the checkpoint and get the answers correct, which is at the end of the notes, then you're going to do very well on both the assignment and the test because all of those questions are based entirely off of the checkpoints. So the goal of the checkpoints is just to make sure that there are no surprises at all when you go to write a test. When you are ready to write a test, make sure that you print off a supervisor form, which was at the top of this course homepage, and have that filled out because you will need to submit that with your written submission for your test. The final exam needs to be invigilated, which is different than supervision because you will need to write the final exam at an eBus invigilation center if you are in the Lower Mainland, or if you are elsewhere around the province, then we will come up with a solution for you as well. And it's really important to note that the eBus integrity policy states that if your invigilated test score is greater or equal to 20% of your course mark, then you may just be given your final exam invigilated test score as your final mark. Now, if this stresses you out, what I encourage you to do is to have some of your chapter tests done at testing centers as well. That way, if you happen to have a bad day on an invigilated test, it's not a big deal because then I have some other invigilated work for you that I can reference to average your score out that way. And just one last thing, so for when you go to write your test, I encourage you to go back to the course outline to look at how long you'll have to write your test, as well as how many questions will be on the test. Every chapter test will have a written work document that you need to print out before you write your test. And each chapter test is going to be between 5 to 12 short answer questions. And you're going to need to show your work on this written work document for every question. And there is a place on the last question of every test where you need to submit that written work. And you can do that just the same way that you would submit an assignment. So by taking pictures or scanning in order to create a PDF, Word, or zip file. And make sure that when you are writing your test that it is always closed book, that you're using a non-graphing calculator, and that in the comment box on that last question, you write something in the comment box. It can just be telling me how the test went for you. That way I'm prompted to mark your written work. Otherwise, your written work won't show up as being marked and you'll see a very low test mark. If that happens, don't worry, just send me an email and I'll go in and mark it manually. Also, if you run out of time and you didn't have a chance to scan and upload your work, just send it to me in an email and I can go in and add it to your test. So that's about it. If you have any other questions as you get going in the course, please give me either a phone call, an email, or a Moodle message. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.